that message of Jesus, and he had some really profound things to say, and it really helped them feel better, it resonated with them. She was problem with anybody that gets in any sort of a position of power. It's easy to abuse it.
Joe Rogan has always been known for his unfiltered opinions, whether it's on his popular podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, or during his commentary in the world of UFC. His rise to fame, from his work as a stand-up comedian to his role as a host on Fear Factor, has made him one of the most recognizable figures in entertainment. He's never been shy about speaking his mind, especially when it comes to topics that challenge the status quo or spark controversy. One of his recent moments in the spotlight came when he broke his silence on Joel Osteen, the famous televangelist, raising a conversation that sent shockwaves across the internet. Joel Osteen, the pastor of Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, has been a figurehead for millions of followers worldwide. With his sermons broadcast to millions, his books topping bestseller lists, and his church with a stunning 16,000-seat capacity, Osteen is a well-known personality in the world of religion. His message of hope, prosperity, and positivity has resonated with many. However, despite his popularity, he has not been without criticism. From accusations of wealth-driven hypocrisy to his slow response to the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey, Osteen's actions have faced mounting backlash over the years. Yet, Osteen continues to maintain a strong public image. But Joe Rogan, ever the provocateur, wasn't so quick to let Osteen off the hook. In a recent episode of The Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan finally shared his honest take on Osteen's influence, his lavish lifestyle, and the controversial aspects of his public persona. Rogan's remarks were explosive, diving deep into the ethical and moral questions surrounding Joel Osteen's actions. His words ignited debates, with some agreeing with Rogan's critique while others defended Osteen's position. The timing of this discussion couldn't have been more fitting, as it has spurred a larger conversation about the role of televangelists, their wealth, and the real meaning of service. For many, it was an eye-opening moment that challenged the way they viewed one of the most prominent figures in the religious community. Before we dive deeper into the explosive comments Rogan made about Osteen, let's first take a closer look at the man behind the microphone. Joe Rogan's career is multifaceted, and it's this versatility that has made him such an influential voice in modern media. From his roots in comedy to his role as a UFC commentator and his exploration of topics ranging from science to philosophy, Rogan has built a brand around his openness and willingness to question everything. His podcast has become one of the most popular in the world, with millions of listeners tuning in to hear his candid discussions with a wide range of guests. His background in martial arts also plays a role in his no-nonsense approach to life. As a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Taekwondo, Rogan has a mindset shaped by discipline, focus, and the value of hard work. These principles come through in his conversations, often challenging conventional wisdom and encouraging others to think for themselves. One of the most memorable moments in Rogan's career came during his time on The Man Show, a late-night sketch comedy program that aired on Comedy Central. Though not widely known, Rogan's involvement with The Man Show marked a turning point in his career. The show's controversial humor and outrageous antics were met with criticism, but Rogan and his fellow co-hosts Doug Stanhope were determined to make their mark. It was during this time that Rogan's outspoken nature began to take shape, setting the stage for his future in media and podcasting. After The Man Show, Rogan went on to host Fear Factor, a show where contestants faced terrifying challenges. Rogan's direct and honest personality was well suited to the show's dramatic format, and his commentary became a central part of its success. But despite his growing fame, Rogan was never one to shy away from more complex and controversial discussions. This is where his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, came into play. Rogan launched his podcast in 2009 with the simple goal of having open, honest conversations with people from all walks of life. The show quickly gained popularity, thanks to Rogan's engaging personality, his willingness to explore all kinds of topics, and his deep, thoughtful questions. As the podcast grew, Rogan's audience began to trust his opinions, especially when it came to issues that challenged societal norms or questioned the status quo. Fast forward to 2017, and Joel Osteen found himself embroiled in one of the most public controversies of his career. After Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, where Osteen's church is located, many were outraged by his failure to immediately open the doors of Lakewood Church to those in need. As the storm flooded the city, thousands of people were left stranded without shelter. Yet Osteen's massive church building remained closed. The public backlash was swift, with many accusing him of failing to live up to the generosity and kindness he preached in his sermons. The criticism intensified when Osteen's response was deemed inadequate by many. Initially, Osteen asked his 6 million Twitter followers to pray for the victims of the storm, but he did not offer any immediate tangible support. It wasn't until days later, under mounting pressure, that Lakewood Church finally opened its doors to evacuees. By then, the damage to Osteen's reputation was already done. Joe Rogan did not hold back in his criticism of Osteen's actions. On his podcast, he called out Osteen for his failure to act quickly, questioning how someone who preaches about love, kindness, and generosity could ignore the suffering of those in desperate need. Rogan's blunt assessment struck a chord with many who felt that Osteen had missed a critical opportunity to be a true leader during a crisis. The public's frustration was compounded by Osteen's eventual explanation for the delay. He claimed that the church was inaccessible due to flooding. However, photographs of the church building surfaced, showing it to be dry and undamaged, further fueling doubts about the validity of his claim. Rogan's comments didn't stop at Osteen's handling of Hurricane Harvey. He expanded the discussion to address the growing wealth and extravagance of televangelists. Osteen, who is known for his massive wealth, including a multi-million-dollar mansion and a reported net worth of $100 million, has long faced criticism for the disparity between his lifestyle and the values he espouses. Many question how a pastor who preaches